In tonight's headlines, Chief Executive John Lee is hoping for positive relations with the U.S. under the new administration of President Donald Trump. An event to name Hong Kong's twin panda cubs will be held before the Bears make their first public appearance on February 16th. And Donald Trump gets down to business immediately after being sworn in as the 47th President of the United States.
Chief Executive John Lee hopes to foster positive relations with the United States under the new administration of Donald Trump, but warned against any interference in Hong Kong's political and judicial matters.
I think there are a lot of commonalities and common interests between Hong Kong and the U.S. And with the new president in office, I hope to see that there will be good efforts to promote positive relations. But of course, we will always prepare for the worst, and we will ensure that the rights of our people and companies will be protected.
In response to concerns about potential sanctions on more Hong Kong officials, Lee affirmed that Hong Kong people will always uphold principles of righteousness and justice.
If there is any attempt to interfere with trials in Hong Kong, or officials or people who are involved in administering justice, it won't work. And we are doing it exactly in the same way in protecting our national security as other citizens in their own countries. So we are right in our action and decisions, and we uphold justice in the whole process.
Lee himself is under sanctions from Washington, a status that was extended for another 5 years last month. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Chief Executive John Lee said the government is in talks with mainland officials to enhance border arrangements for the forthcoming Lunar New Year holidays. Lee estimated around 1.4 million visitors to cross over into Hong Kong for the week-long festivities. Speaking ahead of the weekly Executive Council meeting, Lee said the city is expecting a 14% uptick in daily tourist numbers compared to last year. Various factors will have to be considered to extend the opening hours at the border, and authorities are communicating with all units. The city's leader has also instructed departments to ramp up crowd control measures at the border and during the exciting lineup of events, including the New Year's Day parade and the fireworks display on the following day. And starting February 16th, the new year will bring added joy as Hong Kongers and visitors can meet the panda twins who were born in the SAR last year. Making their debut at the panda enclosure in Ocean Park, people will have the opportunity to name the 6-month-old cubs, Lee added. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Chief Executive John Lee said the government will do everything possible to bring back SAR residents who are held in Southeast Asian countries after being lured there through job scams.
We have been strengthening efforts at all fronts. Our aim, of course, is to rescue them as soon as possible so that they can all come back to Hong Kong safely.
The city chief reported that a dedicated task force established by the Security Bureau has made significant progress to rescue them. Out of the 28 individuals detained in Southeast Asia, 16 had been rescued earlier. A visit by SAR officials to the Thai capital Bangkok secured the release of 2 additional victims. Currently, 10 more people are still believed to be in detention. Lee stated that authorities will conduct in-depth investigations with various agencies and countries to combat related crimes and rescue victims. Additional efforts include raising travel alerts and public education to help residents stay vigilant. Chief Executive John Lee has thanked the public for acknowledging the efforts of the government for last year. recognizing the top 10 government initiatives of 2024 at the Convention and Exhibition Center in Wanchai. Li pledged that authorities will continue with their efforts to enhance Hong Kongers' sense of well-being and fulfillment. The top honor went to the legislation of Article 23 of the Basic Law, followed by the Communist Party's third plenary session in Beijing. Participation of the business sector in the Northern Metropolis development took third place. Other notable government initiatives included the resilience of stock market operator Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearing Limited during a challenging 2024. The resumption of multiple entry visas for Shenzhen residents, promoting the panda economy, and the 3-runway system at the airport. The event, organized by the news agency Wenwei Po, was co-hosted by 23 media outlets, with residents casting their votes through mail, fax, and online.
Thank you, sir.
Donald Trump did not waste any time and cracked the whip immediately after he was sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Policies and executive orders were signed during his speech after the inauguration.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so. I don't think so.
His first agenda was to undo 78 of his predecessors Joe Biden's policies and putting a freeze on all federal hiring. The U.S. withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty was a foregone conclusion. Trump had done that in his first term before Biden rejoined the pact on carbon emission. In a not-so-surprising move, Trump issued pardons for those who were charged for rioting at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021.
So this is January 6th, and these are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon. Yes. Full pardon.
Keeping on his campaign promise of stopping illegal immigration, Trump declared a national emergency and ordered the military to seal the borders with neighboring Mexico to stop the flow of immigrants. A controversial move which could be challenged in court was to deny birthright citizenship for U.S.-born children of immigrants in the country illegally. Trump also scrapped an app that allowed immigrants to request asylum at the border. On trade, the president said he expects to impose 25% tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico starting next month, but declined to give a date on China tariffs. Trump warned that he could impose tariffs on China if Beijing failed to approve a U.S. deal with TikTok, as he signed an executive order delaying the enforcement of a ban of the popular short video app for at least 75 days, adding that he thought U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok, which could be worth $1 trillion.
There's so many different products made in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally.
Trump is also pulling the U.S. out of the World Health Organization, as he did during his first administration. He accused WHO of ripping off the United States and mishandling the COVID-19 pandemic. Anna Chan, Cable News.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
Describing his achievement as a historic political comeback, Donald Trump took the oath for a second term under the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol. The swearing-in ceremony had to be shifted indoors for the first time in 40 years due to frigid weather. Witnessed by family members, former presidents, politicians, and chief executives of big tech companies, Trump delivered a 30-minute inauguration speech, promising a golden age of America.
The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer.
Trump, who overcame
every
impeachments and
single day
assassination
of the Trump
attempt, acknowledged
administration,
the government is facing a
will
crisis
very
of trust and pledged a revolution of common sense.
I was saved by God to make America great again. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
Falling back on the official U.S. policy on gender, Trump issued an executive order declaring that the country will only recognize two sexes, male and female. Trump also claimed he wants to be a peacemaker and unifier, hailing the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza. However, he also vowed to lead a government that expands our territory, a reference to his goals of acquiring Greenland from Denmark and restoring U.S. control of the Panama Canal.
And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
The inauguration concluded with a ball where the President and First Lady Melania Trump danced the night away with family and friends. Anna Chan, Cable News.
The city's inflation rate remained steady at 1.4% for the month of December. Excluding the impact of the government's one-off relief measures, the underlying inflation rate rose slightly to 1.3%, an increase of 0.1% compared to November. The overall inflation rate for last year stood at 1.7%. Prices for alcoholic drinks and tobacco products registered a substantial increase, rising 21%. Utilities also got more expensive, going up 11%, while clothing and footwear experienced the most significant decline, down by about 3%. A government spokesman said core inflation remained modest and will remain moderate in the short term as the economy continues to grow, although local costs may face some upward pressure.